Hello everyone and welcome to TalentSprint. I am Surabhi. As most of you must be knowing that in today's live session, we will be discussing reasoning questions. Now, what sort of reasoning questions are we discussing today? Where did we pick up these reasoning questions? Are they any sort of random reasoning questions? Or they are reasoning questions that have been picked up from a certain place? Well, if you have any of those answers in any of those questions in your mind, you should wait for just another 2-3 minutes when we will actually start the session. Meanwhile, before we actually start discussing those questions and I answer all your questions, let's start the session by saying a big hello, hi to all of us out there. Hello, everyone. I'm looking forward to hear a hi, hello from all of you. So there I have someone who is saying hello. Ashish says hello. Rami says hello. Hello, Ashish. Hello, Rami. It's nice to see you guys too once again as join our session. Okay. Okay, so let us start our session for the day. Now, hi, Anubhav. Now, as I asked some of you questions in the beginning of the session, any idea what kind of reasoning questions are we going to be discussing today? Hi, Dipanshu. Hi, Rahul. Hi, Mohan. Hi, Sunil. I can just see a stream of you who have just joined the live session, which is really nice. Okay, so in today's live session, like I said, we will be discussing reasoning questions. Now, for today's live session, we have picked up reasoning questions from actual employment eligibility tests. Now, what is an employment eligibility test and what are the employment eligibility tests out there? Let me tell you. Today, there are thousands of IT companies in the country, and all IT companies are looking to recruit fresh graduates like you guys. Now, how do fresh graduates like you who want to start their career reach out to these IT companies? Now, the way to reach out to these IT companies is by walking in for an interview, of course, or some of them might come to your college. One fabulous way to make these IT companies take notice of you, your talent, is by writing employment eligibility tests. Now, what are employment eligibility tests? Employment eligibility tests are tests which are held from time to time. You can sign up for any one of them and you can take them. Example of such tests are eLitmus, CoCube, AMCAT. Now, more than 600 plus corporates from across the country have signed up with these employment eligibility tests. And based on your performance, based on the score that you get in these tests, they actually send you placement offers. So, for example, let us say you write the AMCAT exam and you score something above 65 to 70% in that exam, somewhere around 65-70%. Then a lot of companies will actually be sending you emails and asking you to come and give their interview. So sometimes, rather than you approaching the companies, the employment eligibility test is a great way to make these companies approach you. And three of the best employment eligibility tests at the moment are AMCAT, CoCubes, and eLitmus. I can see that there's a whole stream of you who have joined our live class in the meanwhile. Rahul, Ramya, Pramod, Dipanshu, Jevan, welcome and a big hello to all of you. Okay, so now that I told you what are employment eligibility tests and why it is important to take them, you should know what is a set pattern of these employment eligibility tests. Now, Pramod here has just asked us a question saying that he has done his BTech in electrical. Pramod, anyone who has done a BTech, actually not even a BTech, as long as if you've done a degree, you can actually write these employment eligibility tests. And AMCAT, CoCubes, and eLitmus specifically have employment eligibility tests for BTech students. So irrespective of whichever stream you have done your engineering from, you can write these employment eligibility tests. Now, These employment eligibility tests have 4 sections in them. Any idea what are the 4 sections? The first section is on, there's one section on mathematics, quantitative ability. There's one section on reasoning ability. There is one section on English, and there's usually one section on basic computers, very basic C and C++ to check your understanding of C and C++. Okay, now that I have told you what the employment eligibility test is, what are some of the employment eligibility tests, and why you should take them. Now, in today's live class, where we are discussing reasoning questions, I have picked up some questions from CoCubes, some from eLitmus, and some from AMCAT. Meanwhile, Jayant has asked us, my college will take CoCube test. What should I do for that? Jayant, it's really good that your college is holding a CoCubes test for you. You must write it. You must practice aptitude. You must practice quantitative aptitude, verbal aptitude, reasoning aptitude, and you should also practice basic understanding of computer languages like C and C++. Alok, meanwhile, has asked us minimum how many minimum, I think what he wants to ask us is what is the score that you should get. Well, you know, Alok, there is no specific score that you should get as such, but any score that is 60% plus is supposed to be a great score and will definitely help you to get a job and kickstart your dream IT career. Well, Rohit, all these, like Rohit has asked us, what are the charges for these exams? Rohit, most of these exams are somewhere around 700, 800 rupees to 1200, 1300 rupees. So not very, you know, not very reasonable, yet not very expensive. So easily doable if you study hard. Once you've prepared for 6 months, it's a good idea to go ahead and give these exams. And for those of you who want a proper, you know, a proper curriculum for testing or Java, you can always come down to Hyderabad and join our Smart Campus, where we have specific programs for testing and Java, a 3-month thorough curriculum that will train you in testing or Java, and also communication skills and your quantitative and verbal abilities. Naveen says he has written e-litmus exam recently. He has applied for jobs, but he did not get any response. Well, Naveen, patience is the key here. You may not have to wait for very long, but considering you have written the exam only recently, relax. With the placement season just around, this is the time when the hiring actually starts. So good that you have written the exam. I hope you have a good score. You know, and keep waiting, keep applying for jobs, and very, very soon you will get a job offer if your score is good in the exam. Jayant asks us, ma'am, I am from Information Technology Department. So is there any extra subject for CoCubes? Well, no, just write the basic test that is out there for engineers, and that would be good. Okay. So then Alok says, how do we choose your subjects in the technical background? Well, there are a lot of subjects out there. Based on your qualification, you must make an apt choice. Dipanshu asks us, he has commerce stream in class 12. So I don't know what line he should choose. Well, Dipanshu, you have just completed your class 12. This is one of those times when most of us are very confused. Speak to people around you, speak to elders, speak to cousins, see what you are interested in, and ultimately do what you want to do. Okay, hi Srinivas, hi Sandeep. With this, having answered most of your questions, now let us go ahead and start today's questions that we have put aside for today. But before I do that, I'll just take one last question that has appeared in the screen, and it's from Rohit. Ma'am, from those 3 tests, which will generate more number of interview calls? Well, Rohit, it is known by the industry today that AMCAT has ties with more than 600 plus corporates. So if you ask, in my opinion, probably the AMCAT is a better choice amongst the 3, which does not undermine e-litmus and CoCubes under any circumstances. All 3 are very, very good industry accepted competitive exams to write. Okay, now let us move on and start discussing the questions that we have put aside for the day. Great. Let's look at the first question for the day, boys and girls. Now, this question is from a section that we call coding and decoding. Now, what happens if you notice that there are various sentences written here, and those sentences are followed by a certain code. Now, those sentences are followed by a certain code, and you have to decode, find out that which code stands for which word in the sentence. Now, before we move ahead, I'm going to request all of you to dedicate 30 seconds and quickly read the question that is up on your computer screens, and then I will read it out and we will move ahead and start discussing the question. So quick 30 seconds and have a quick read. And remember, in the actual exams, 30 seconds is when you have to read the question and solve it. Time is not your best friend in an exam. Okay, I think let's read the question. And Jamari, remember to ask me this question at the end of the class. I will answer your question. In a certain code language, how to complete this job is written as NKPT, is written as link, PT, VT, KS, and YP. This job is very challenging, is written as RJ, LK, PT, ZP, NK. They are completing this challenging work is written by another series of alphabets. How are they taking challenges is written by another series. And then finally, taking challenges are amazing is written by another series of codes. Jayavant has already given us the answer, but well, Jayavant, we are going to make you wait for a couple of minutes and then come to the correct answer by solving it. Okay. Now, notice the first and the second sentence, boys and girls. Now, when you notice the first and the second sentence, you will notice that the word job and the word this is common in these two sentences, which means that the code has to be common. The code for job and this has to very much be there. So if you notice PT, PT, and also NK and NK are common. Now here we cannot be sure that what does this stand for and what does job stand for. So now let us go to the next sentence. If you will notice that sentence number 3 also has the word this. Now, if you notice that this is now, and it has the code NK. So from this, we can easily deduce that this stands for NK. If NK stands for this, it means that PT will actually stand for job. So job is actually equal to PT. Now, if you notice, we have been able to decode two words, this and job. Now, in the third sentence, there is also a word. The third sentence also has a word complete. And this word is also there in the first sentence. Now, you must notice the common code in these two sentences, and there is YP in the first and YP in the third, which means that the words COMPLETE, complete, is equal to YP. Now let's move to the fourth sentence. The fourth sentence has the word how, so does the first sentence. Now let us look at the code. Here we have the word VT alphabet. Similarly, we have the letters VT. So we know that VT is actually equal to how. Now, halt here and go back to the first sentence once again. If you notice, 2 is the only word that we haven't decoded here. And the only two letters whom we haven't ascribed the code to are the alphabets, are the letters K and S. And what is the first question here? The code KS stands for what? So we know that the code KS actually stands for 2. I hope that this, how we have deduced this answer is correct, has been understood by most of you. Now let us move on to the word complete. Now, obviously, complete is what we have already done. Complete is YP. Now, yes, the answer to the first question is part A, 2, and the answer to the second is C, Y, P. I would request all of you to take another quick 5-10 seconds and look at this and ask me if you have any doubts. Remember to go sentence by sentence and see which word is common, and based on the word that is common, look at the code which is common in both the sentences and then move ahead. Now, since nobody is saying anything, nobody is asking anything, I am presuming that all of you have understood this question, with which I will move on to the next question for the day. Let's go on to the next question. Now, this question, boys and girls, is based on something that we call syllogisms. Now, what are syllogisms? Usually in syllogisms, there is a pair of statements. There are 2 or 3 statements that have been given to us. Now, the statements that are given to us, we have to consider those statements to be absolutely true. Even though we may not agree with them, they may go against common sense. It may sound stupid, it may sound silly. But remember, you have to consider those statements to be absolutely true. And then based on them, you have to see whether the conclusions actually follow or not. Let's go ahead and read this question. In each question below are given 3 statements followed by 2 conclusions numbered 1 and 2. You have to take the given statements to be true, even if they seem to be in variance with commonly known facts. Please notice, even if they seem to be in variance with commonly known facts, do not use your common sense knowledge to say, oh, this is not possible, this conclusion cannot follow. Follow exactly what is written in the statements. Read all the conclusions and then decide which of the given conclusion logically follows from the given statement, disregarding commonly known facts. If only conclusion 1 follows, say 1. If only 2 follows, say 2. If only 1 is possible, say 3. If none of them follows, say 4. If both of them follow, say 5. Okay. What is our first statement? All hurdles are progress. Now, the way to start such questions, boys and girls, is by drawing the Venn diagram. So they tell us all hurdles are progress. So this is the subset hurdles, which comes under the larger set of progress. Then some jobs are hurdles. The minute we say some jobs are hurdles, this is possibility 1. Another possibility that may arise here would be probably this and this. So this would be, progress. This would be hurdles. This would be job. Remember that there are many possibilities that are possible. All works are progress. They tell us all works are progress. The minute they tell us all works are progress, W will maybe somewhere in here. W works maybe somewhere in here. So there is a possibility that works shares something in common with hurdles or jobs. It may not share anything in common, but definitely it lies under the universal set of progress. So all progress. So let's look at the first conclusion. All progress being jobs is a possibility. Now, all progress being jobs is a possibility. Yes, that is definitely a possibility, that all progress being jobs. Some hurdles are not jobs. Well, This is something that we cannot conclude. Just because they have told us that some jobs are hurdles does not mean that some hurdles are not jobs. Therefore, we will say that only conclusion 1 follows. Therefore, the answer here is 1. Only conclusion 1 follows. Yes, Pramod, the answer you have given is correct. Yes, Jayavant, your answer is correct. Now, those of you who did not get the correct answer, once again, take 30 seconds, look at the question. If you have any doubts, please ask. And like I say, never hesitate in asking your doubts, because the more doubts you ask, the clearer the concept gets to you. So I'm just quickly going to remove all the markings, ask you to read it for yourself, and then move to the next question. And your 30 seconds start now. Okay. Good, Dipanshu. Great to know that you have understood. Looks like everyone else has understood, and my clock has ticked away 30 seconds. And let's go to the next question. This question is also on syllogisms and very much the same diagram. So once again, there is progress for us. Then there are some this is progress. We have some hurdles. Then, we have some jobs. And here, we have some work. This may have something in common. This may not have something in common. Remember, we are merely drawing conjectures here because we are not sure. Okay. So now, every hurdle may be a work. Yes, it is quite possible that hurdle and work are actually the same set, or probably, work is the universal set for hurdle, which means that the first one is very much possible. And remember, it says maybe. It itself expresses a possibility, and we know that it is a possibility. Some works are progress. Of course, some works are progress, because we clearly know that if all works are progress, some works will also be progress. So here, boys and girls, the answer is 5. Why? Because both conclusion 1 and conclusion 2 follow. I can see that some of you here are saying that 2 follows. Some of you here are saying 1 follows. And Arun says not understood. Well, Arun, we will discuss it again. Okay, read the statement. All hurdles are progress. Let's actually draw the diagrams yet again. This is hurdles. They tell us all hurdles are progress. So we go ahead and we draw progress. Is it clear to everyone till here? Great. Some jobs are hurdles. Now, the minute we say some jobs are hurdles, it is possible that jobs comes like this. There is another possibility that let me draw for you guys here, that this is H, this is P, and this is J. So this is possibility 1, this is possibility 2. So it may or may not have anything in common. Remember, some jobs are hurdles. When they tell us that some jobs are hurdles, it is possible that the set of jobs completely falls inside progress. It is also possible that the set jobs share some elements in common with progress and some elements not in common with progress, because they haven't given us an exactly clear picture. Then they tell us all works are progress, which means that W is here. Also, W can share something in common with these two. We do not know, again, a guesswork. Therefore, possibility 1 and possibility 2. Now, every hurdle may be a work. Now, if you notice, we have drawn only 2 possibilities here, But many possibilities here are possible. It is also possible that work is actually the larger set for hurdles. Sorry. If that is the case, then actually conclusion 1 will be true. And some works are progress. Of course, that is true, because the third statement tells us that all works are progress. If all works are progress, some works will definitely be progress. Therefore, the answer here is 5. Both statement 1 and 2 follow. Once again, boys and girls, I would request, read the nuances of the question, read the nitty-gritties, and then move ahead. Read this question once again. If you have not understood, ask me exactly at what point have you got stuck, and then we will move ahead. Well, thank you, Sunil. Good to know that you've understood the question. Okay, I'm looking forward to hear from some of you if you have understood or not understood, so that we can actually move ahead. Understood, not understood, boys and girls? Looking forward to hear some answers from all of you, which suddenly seem to have frozen. Well, okay. With you guys not saying anything, I am going to once again just think in my head that you have understood. And move to the next question. Okay. Now, this question is a classic case of equalities and inequalities. Great. If you notice, every symbol here represents a mathematical operation. A hashtag B means A is smaller than B, which means hashtag means smaller than. They tell us A at the rate B means A is greater than B. Next, they tell us A percentage B means A is equal to B. Then they tell us A multiplied by B means that A is greater than equal to B. Then they tell us A delta B means that A is either less than or equal to B. Now that we know exactly, let us see what the statement is. Statement is A hashtag B, B product M, M at the rate P. So let's put in the symbols in place and then see. So let us put them. Let us say A hashtag B. So what is hashtags? Which means that A is less than B. Then B product M. Then here this is B is actually greater than equal to M. M at the rate P means that M is greater than P. So this is the inequality that we have in front of us. Now that we have this inequality in front of us, let us look at the conclusion. The first conclusion says that A is less than, A hashtag B, A is less than M. If you notice, that is not possible here. It tells us A is less than B, B is greater than equal to M, which means this does not follow. Let's look at the second one. Second one says B at the rate P. B, what is at the rate? At the rate is B is greater than P, which clearly follows from this inequality. Therefore, this is true. Let's look at C. C is A percentage B. What does percentage stand for? A is equal to P, which is again not there, which means our answer here, boys and girls, is B. Yes, Rahul, such questions are a little tricky. You have to have your symbols bang on in place. Now, we have some more questions that are based exactly on these inequalities. let us move ahead and look at those questions. Let me quickly clear a part of the screen, because some part of the screen will also be needed for the next question. And yes, the answer for this question is B. Great. All right. Okay. So we have come to the second part of this question. And once again, we have the same symbols. Now we have a new inequality in front of us. The new inequality is A product B. Now, A product B means that A is greater than equal to B. Next is B at the rate C, which means that B is greater than C. Next is C delta D, which means C is less than equal to D. Notice, boys and girls, we have done nothing special here. There is no rocket science. We have simply decoded these symbols based on the information that has already been given in these questions. Now, let us look at the conclusions. A at the rate C means that A at the rate C here, boys and girls. I'm sorry, A at the rate C, yes. A at the rate C means that A is greater than C. Now, is A greater than C? Yes, indeed, A here is greater than C. Look at the diagram and tell me if A is greater than C. A is greater than C. Yes, A here is greater than C. Then A delta D. A delta D. What does delta stand for? Less than equal to. A is less than equal to D. Is A less than equal to D? Well, there are some opposite symbols here, and whenever there are opposite symbols, the inequality never holds true. Then B hashtag D means that B is less than D. And actually, once again, there are opposite symbols. We cannot say whether it is true or false. We cannot say, therefore, the answer here is 1. Swapna here says that C is also correct. Well, Swapna, C is B hashtag D. And hashtag stands for less than. And we cannot say whether B is less than D or not, because notice there are two opposite symbols here. And whenever there are opposite symbols, it is a case of not determined. You can never determine what it is, what the relationship is actually existing between those two elements or those two numbers. So here the answer is only 1. There's one more question that is based on this inequality. So let us quickly move to that one as well. Let me just clear some parts of the screen, which will make it very, very easy for us to go ahead and solve that question too. Okay, I suddenly feel like a kid who's erasing and doing a very bad job. Okay, there goes the next question on this. Now, S percentage T. What is the sign percentage? S is equal to T. T at the rate U means T is greater than U. U product Y means U is greater than equal to Y. Notice, boys and girls, once you get hang of it, the only tricky part, the only slightly tricky part is to get this inequality in place. And once you get this inequality in place, you can solve any question that is asked on this given statement. All right. So Y percentage T. Y is equal to T. Is Y equal to T? No. Y is not equal to T. Not possible. S percentage U. Is S equal to U? Well, there once again, S is not equal to U. T hashtag Y. T is less than Y. Well, T is actually greater than y. Please notice here, hashtag means less than, smaller than, and here t is actually greater than y. So therefore, this also does not follow. And the answer here is D, none of the above. Yes, Pramod, you've got the correct answer. The answer here is D. I know this may have seemed like a whirlwind of information, too much happening at once. So please take a minute, read the question, and see how we reach this answer. Remember, the tricks here are to correctly assign the symbols. Do not get confused between smaller than and greater than. I know this is something we all studied in standard 1 and 2 in school, but yet we have to be extremely careful when we are assigning symbols and putting the inequality together. Remember, when there are two opposite signs in the same inequality, we cannot determine the relationship between them. So Jevan there says, understand. Well, it's good to know that you have understood what I have said. Okay, so can I move on to the next question? If I can, some of you show me a thumbs up, which would mean that I can move on to the next question. Okay, I'm waiting for some more replies to tell me that you have actually understood the question. So Jevant is the one who says understand. He's saying yes, ma'am, go ahead. What about the others? So Arun says yes, ma'am, go ahead. What about some more of you? Some more of you? Well, looks like, so Pramod, okay. Pramod's giving us 4 signs of victory. Woo, go ahead. Great. So with that, let's move on to the next question now. This is, thanks Shiva. This is one of those super simple questions. Okay, let's read it. They have given us, notice boys and girls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have given us a 9-digit number. Now, what do we have to do? The positions of the first and the fifth are interchanged. Notice, first, fifth are interchanged. Third and the seventh are interchanged. In the new arrangement, which digit would be fifth from the right? If you ask me, a question cannot get simpler than this in any exam that you are writing. Number is given to you. They are simply telling you that positions of digits in the number are interchanged. And you simply have to mention which is the new number in a given position. So this time I am not going to solve the question first. I'm going to ask, I'm going to wait for the first 3 answers. And once the first 3 answers come, then I'm going to solve the questions and you can see for yourselves who is correct and who is wrong. Okay, so Rahul says, okay, I have got 3 answers. Jumari says 5, Pramod says 1, Rahul says 6, and a stream of answers have started following. Well, let's put the number. 6, 7, 4, 5, 8, 9, 2, 6, 1. First digit, second digit, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth digit. So first and fifth. So first is interchanged with fifth. So actually 8 becomes my first digit and 6 becomes my fifth digit. Then they tell us the third and the seventh. Third and the seventh. So 7 remains as it is. 2 comes here. 5 remains as it is. 9. This becomes 4. 6, 1. So this is our new number. This is our new number. Now we have to count from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is our correct answer. Our correct answer, boys and girls, is the for option 1, question number 6. Now, let me tell you a very small shortcut here, boys and girls. If you get this question in an actual competitive exam, first count from the back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you notice that the minute you replace the first digit with the fifth digit, you have your answer. You don't even need to go to the second part of the question that says the third and the seventh are interchanged. You just need to interchange the first and the fifth and you get your answer. Remember, boys and girls, time is extremely precious in such exams. Therefore, it is extremely important that you work smartly, you eliminate any extra steps, and you use minimum possible steps with the least amount of calculation to reach the correct answer. Well, let's move ahead to the next question. Let's see. Okay. Now, this question is from one of my favorite topics. This question is from one of my favorite topics in reasoning ability, a topic that we know as blood relations. Let's read the question. Study the following information carefully and answer the questions given below. A family consists of 7 members, J, L, W, Q, S, U, and X. U is married to W, who is not the mother of L. S is the brother of U, who is the mother of L. X is the daughter of W, who is the father-in-law of Q. S is the son of J, and Q is not male. Oof, too much information, right? But well, the only simple trick to solving questions on blood relations is to draw a tree diagram. Start by drawing a tree diagram, and the tree diagram will make things extremely simple. Well, Jamari, don't worry. Let's just draw the tree diagram with every step that I say, and trust me, questions on blood relations will never seem difficult again. Okay, they tell us U and W are married. So U is married to W. Notice till now we do not know who is the husband, who is the wife. This symbol, arrows on both ends, tell us that they are husband, wife, not knowing husband, not knowing wife. Okay. Then they tell us W is not the mother of L. Well, they tell us S is the brother of U. So S is the brother. S is the brother of U. Have you all understood it till here? U and W are husband-wife. We do not know who is the husband, who is the wife. We just know they are married. Therefore, it is represented by arrows in both directions. S is the brother of U. Since S is the brother, he will be male and represented by the plus sign. Then they tell us S is the brother of U, who is the mother of L. So that means they tell us U is the mother of L. Now notice, the minute they tell us that U is the mother, means that U is female, and if U is female, W becomes male because they are husband and wife. Please look at this line. S is the brother of U, plotted. Who is the mother of L? Since U is the mother of L, she will be female, and since she is female, W will be male. Then X is the daughter of W. So X is who? X is the daughter. Now notice that they haven't told us the gender of the child L. They haven't told us whether L is a daughter or a son. We just know that L is actually a child. Then X is the daughter. They also tell us that W is the father-in-law of Q. Well, W is the father-in-law of Q. We will put that information on hold for a little while, and they tell us S is the son of J. So, well, S is the son of J. This is the relationship of father. S is the son of J, and they tell us Q is not male. They tell us that X is the daughter of W. Let's come back to this. Who is the father-in-law of Q? Now, W is the father-in-law of Q. Notice father-in-law. They tell us that Q is not male, which means Q is female. Since Q is female, and we know that U and W have two children, L and X, means that Q is actually the wife of L, and L is actually a male. Now, I hope that all of you have understood how we have got this tree diagram. And once we have got this, we can answer any question. How is J related to X? Now, J, if S is the son of J, and we know S and U are brother and sister, J will also be the father of U. J will also be the father of U, which means J will. Okay, now we don't. I'm sorry. I like to make a. We do not know whether J is the father or the mother. I'm sorry. They just tell us that J has a son S. Therefore, we don't know whether J is male or female. Therefore, J is a parent to U, and therefore will be a grandparent to the children of U. And one of the children of U is X. So therefore, J may be a grandfather or a grandmother. Now, someone has asked me to repeat the question again. Well, give me 2 minutes and I will draw the entire diagram for you once again, explain it step by step. Well, since some people have a confusion, let's draw it once again. All right. Okay, let's take the diagram step by step once again. So they tell us that U is married to W. So we start with U is married to W. Notice we do not know the genders yet. Then they tell us U is not S is the brother of U. Since S is the brother, S will be male. Done. Then they tell us U is the mother of L. U is the mother of L. Notice the gender of L is not known. If U is the mother, U and W being married, W becomes the husband. He becomes male. Then they tell us X is the daughter of W. X is the daughter. Done. Then they tell us that X, who is the father-in-law of Q, and Q is not male. So they tell us that W is the father-in-law of Q. We know U and W have two children, which means that L and Q are married, and that makes L male. And they tell us S is the son of J. Notice we do not know whether J is male or female. How is J related to X? Now, since J is the parent of S, J will also be the parent of U. Since U and S are brother and sister, which means that the children of U, that is X, will be a grandchild for J. So how is J related to X? J may be a grandfather or a grandmother, since we do not know the gender of A. Therefore, the answer is either 1 or 3. Then next, go to the second question. How is Q related to L? How is Q related to L? Q, if you notice, is actually the wife of L. Notice from here, Q is actually the wife of L. How many couples are there in the family? We know there are two couples, L and Q and U and W. Therefore, the answer here is 2. Now, just by drawing the line diagram extremely carefully, boys and girls, we have been able to solve this 3 questions that are based on this. I'm going to ask all of you to take about 30 to 40 seconds and look at this diagram and how we got these answers before I move on to the next 2 questions, which are again based on this family tree only. Look at these 2 questions and see if these 3 questions and see if you have understood everything. Let me quickly just erase some bits. Dipanshu says now he understands. Thanks, Dipanshu. Glad to know that you understood. Okay, let's move on to the next 2 questions. Okay, the next 2 questions are again based on this diagram only. How is L related to S? Now we know L is male, S is male. They are of a different generation. S is the brother of L's mother. Therefore, it means that L is actually the nephew. L is actually the nephew of S, which means option 4. How is Q related to X? What is the relationship between Q and X? Okay, I can see some of you are asking questions about the usage of the word who. Well, that is like, okay, I will come to that once I finish discussing the last question. Okay, how is Q related to X? Now, if you notice, Q is the wife of the brother of L. Q is the wife of the brother of L. We know L and X are brother and sister, which means that Q is the wife of the brother of X, which means that the relationship between Q is the sister-in-law. Yes, Dipanshu, Q is the sister-in-law of X. Now, a lot of you have asked that why is the word who used here? Now, how has the word, if you notice, the word who is used here once, twice, and thrice. Now, a lot of you have asked me that, ma'am, can you please explain the usage of the word who? Well, S is the brother of U. Who is? Now, let's look at the first case. U is married to W, who is not the mother. Now, if you notice, what is the subject of this sentence? U is married to W. We know that U is the subject, and who here after the comma always refers to the subject of the sentence. It is like saying, my father, let me just give you an example of a sentence. My father is a strict man who lives by his principles. Now, what have I done here when I say who here refers to my father? Simply in this sentence, who refers to you? In this sentence, who refers to S? And in this sentence, who refers to X? I hope that the usage of the word who is clear to all of you. Okay. With this question, boys and girls, we come to an end. With this question, boys and girls, we come to an end of the questions that I had sorted out for you guys today. Okay. There seems to be a technical lag of sort. Please put up with us. Let me just try.